So the very first thing that I will touch on with the event dungeon is if you were on a relatively early game account and you can farm up to like stage 16 in the event dungeon, then that's good enough. Don't feel bad about only being able to farm stage 16. It can still drop 6-star gear, and the energy cost for farming stage 16 is not that bad at only 14 energy. It's relatively efficient, right? The very first team we're going to cover in this video though can farm all of the above all the way down to stage 20 without too much trouble at all, and it's basically going to have the same ingredients that you're going to be using in stage 16, and it is not this team right here. There it is. And in fact, I'm even going to go as far as to weaken this team a little bit by just completely removing the Thorlin and see if we can just do it 4-man. Before we get into all of the key ingredients that you need to progress in the event dungeon depending on what stage you're on, if you're looking to start off a new Raid Shadow Legends account, then do it right now while Michelangelo is the free login reward legendary champion and is part of a triple legendary start, man. Click on the beginner promo link that is down below this video and use that link down below to create a new raid account to get your hands on Basilius Varanus as your free starter legendary champ, as well as a few free epic champions as you level up your account. Use beginner promo code Demon Slayer on your new account as well to get Thorlin Foulbeard on day 1, and then of course you'll grab Michelangelo as the days tick by. Just log into the game for 7 days, man. It's the best possible time to create a new raid account in 2025. Okay, what tools are you looking to bring into stage 20 and below inside of the event dungeon? But to be honest, in all stages, these tools are going to be very, very good. Tool number 1, okay, I'm going to say 10-meter booster. 10-meter booster can mean increased speed aura, right? Like Haikatoon brings a 19% speed aura in all battles, right? She also brings increased speed buff and 10-meter fill. I'm just going to throw all of these into the same box of just 10-meter booster, a champion that makes sure that your champions go first in the fight, right? 10-meter booster, decreased defense on an AoE, and a block buffs champion. That's it. The AoE nukers are kind of obvious, right? Bring along AoE damage so you can kill the boss's minions. I'm not even going to mention those as part of the tools. That much should be kind of obvious, right? Those are the 3 tools that are going to get you through these earlier stages, right? When it comes to block buffs champions, doesn't get much better than Ugo. Ugo brings decreased defense and block buffs on an AoE. So Ugo already checks 2 of those boxes right away, and the Haikatoon again kind of speaks for itself. Why is it so important to bring along a block buffs champion? Because the Shredder boss itself brings in attack all enemies on his A3, and before attacking he steals all buffs from a single target enemy. This can be a bloody problem, especially if he's stealing things like increased speed buffs, increased attack buffs, God forbid like increased defense buffs and stuff like that, which you might need to bring along a little bit later. And so having a way to ensure that he's not actually going to steal those buffs and get to use those buffs against you is quite important, and that's why a champ like Ugo is so crucial. So let's just see how we do. It just turns out that my nukers on this team are bloody strong. Ooh, not quite enough damage to get everything dead. Okay, fine. I'm gonna have to run 3 nukers here. It was a worthwhile experiment. These are like empowered champions and stuff, so I was kind of wondering, do they have what it takes to just like 4-man this? But just to sort of push this team over the edge, fine, we throw the kill in here. Now, again, I just want to mention these are like awakened and empowered and stuff epic champion nukers that we're running in this team. Again, if you can run a team that looks a bit like this and only farm stage 16 because your champs and your gear on your account aren't that amazing, so be it, man. So be it. That's fine. You know, don't sweat that too hard. Yeah, just go as high up as you possibly can. That's all you can do at the end of the day, you know? So we about have enough damage here to get most stuff dead. We're going to lose the kill, but that's okay, right? For some reason, our Slixus is not killing the boss's minion, which is really depressing. Okay, it's going to go down eventually. And we're going to have about enough gas in the tank now to just kind of blast the boss down. And hopefully down it goes. Okay, there it is. Very, very nice, man. We actually get a legendary quality ring as well. You know what? I'll actually keep that. And I accidentally hit rebattle. Okay, there we go, man. Let's just get out of here now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. I'm going to replace the Kale with a bloody Thorlin. Okay, the Thorlin's just gonna be an absolute monster of a damage dealer. Like he is just an absolute monster of a damage dealer on this account. Probably like my best AoE nuker that I've got going on the account. And we're gonna run this team instead now into stage 25. And into stage 25, running basically exactly the same team here, you're gonna see some problems start to pop on up. Okay, so things are gonna start off much the same, except for the fact that the enemy champions are not gonna die quite as easy. And they're really bloody fast, and so you're gonna get to see they jump in, they start taking turns, they're just a lot quicker than us. You know, the Haikatoon as our 10-meter booster is not fast enough anymore, which is a huge problem. Shredder just hit my Ugo for like 60k there, almost. So the Shredder is hitting a hell of a lot harder now. And so as you progress into towards stage 25, you can't just brute force your way through this dungeon anymore. Like, shock horror, you know, the event dungeons tend to get very, very difficult very, very quickly after stage 20. So don't be surprised if you hit a bit of a brick wall at stage 20 and start to struggle to progress. So the team that we're going to be running instead into stage 25 looks like this. The biome. You can see that this team is looking a lot more advanced already. Again, things get steeply more difficult as you go up in difficulty stages in the event dungeon. Now, the extra tools that we're bringing to the table, right? All of the same rules still apply, right? 10-meter booster, decreased defense on an AoE, a block buffs champion. All of those same rules still apply. The extra tools you want to bring along are going to be the likes of weaken debuff, if you can. Otherwise, you're just going to lack the damage to kill all enemies. An increased defense buff. At least one champion that's bringing a strong increased defense buff on your team. It's going to be quite crucial as well. For me, that's the Glycad, right? Glycad is bringing along an increased defense here, as well as some extra 10-meter boost on his A2 as well. Yeah, he's just bringing some extra defensive capability for the team. Otherwise, the Shredder's going to do ungodly damage. And just overall, the quality of damage deal has gone up by quite a bit as well, right? So we're running the Lydia on the team for the weaken debuff as well. We're actually running the Packmaster as the Aura lead. And we're throwing in Krokad Throatripper as well. And so this is what this team now operates like and what it looks like, right? So yeah, decreased defense we can go on in from the Lydia. We get some 10-meter boost there from the Glycad, as well as the increased defense buff. Then we get the big old block buffs from the Packmaster and the stupid AoE damage from our two boys. They kill everything, and this time when the Shredder attacks on in, because we have increased defense, he's not going to hit us for like 60 billion anymore. You know, we're actually like pretty tanky now. Even Krokad, who's the weakest champion on the team in terms of defensive stats, he's okay. He doesn't drop below half health. And, yeah, we're good. So it's just an evolution and a steroidization of the first team that we covered, with like one or two extra tools worked on in there. Now, what about the stages after this, right? Once you go to like stage 26, 27, the team on the enemy side changes again, okay? You know what? Let's just run this team into it again and see how it does, right? See what the problems are, so we can actually like see them in real time, right? First of all, whenever we attack on into the Krisk on the enemy team, as you can see, the Krisk on his passive skill automatically places decreased defense debuff and tries to place decreased attack debuff on your champions, right? So as our guys attack on in, especially like our damage dealers and our nukers, who also now don't have enough damage to kill the enemy anymore, it's automatically placing a decreased defense debuff on our Thorlin and on our Packmaster, and that's not the only problem. Look at my team's buffs just now, especially the Thorlin's, right? He doesn't have many protected buffs on him right now. Well, keep an eye on that. Gone. And dead. Okay. Basically, the Jing 1 and the Krisk are big bloody problems in this team. They completely changed the formula that you're trying to build here. Except not really. It just means you gotta bring, again, one or two extra tools to the fight to deal with these two suckers. And so things take another step up in terms of the tools that you need to bring, right? Again, it just gets steeper and steeper and it happens fast, right? So, stage 27. What new tools do you want to bring along? Just to really shine a spotlight on this, the Krisk, again, it's his passive. That places a decreased defense debuff, which is devastating because the Shredder is going to one-shot you. You know, if you get decreased defense up, it's really bad. The chances that you're just going to die horribly to a single AoE are very high. Also places a decreased attack on that passive, and there's like almost nothing you can do about it. And then the Jing 1 is the next biggest problem for me, at least. Why? He cannot be hard crowd controlled by anything, actually, apart from like Polymorph. Very hard to control the Jing 1, and he's the fastest champion on the enemy team, so he attacks in first, and he attacks in with this A3, which has a 100% chance of removing all buffs from your guys, right? Which is why my Thorlin got one-shotted as soon as the Jing 1 moved. He just stripped the decreased defense, he stripped our increased defense buffs, and we already had decreased defense up in our Thorlin from the Krisk, and so the Jing 1 just one-shots someone's gonna die, you know what I mean? Things go bad real quick. What does that mean? What does all of this culminate to? Well, As well as all of the tools that we've already covered, right? They're going to be on screen right now. The 10-meter boost, the decreased defense, all of that kind of stuff. The weakens, you know, if you can bring those. As well as all of those tools, you want to also try and bring along a block debuffs buffer champion on your team, right? Somebody who can protect you against the Krisk placing the decreased defense. So a block debuffs champ, as well as a block active skills champion. For me, a block active skills champion is like the key ingredient for making sure that the Jing 1, if he doesn't die in the initial nuke, at least can't use this gosh darn A3 that's just going to strip all of your buffs and ruin your day. In order of how hard they are to get, Vlad the Nightborn is a bloody good champion for this kind of stage. He plays the decreased defense and the block active skills debuff, right, as well as pump at a good amount of damage. He'd be a very, very good option to bring along. A little bit easier to get is going to be Corrado Fox Hunter. Corrado's time to shine, boys. He brings attack all enemies, does pretty reasonable damage, and also places block active skills debuff for 2 turns. This could easily be one of your nuker options that you bring to the table, who's also fulfilling the role of the block active skills guy. However, the champion that I'm going to be using in this team is going to be none other than an epic champion by the name of Ethelyn the Golden. This guy right here, man, self-buffs with increased crit damage and increased accuracy, which is great because it means that you don't have to build quite as much accuracy on the guy. You need like, what, 350, 400 accuracy or something by this stage, and so having this is very, very nice. And also then attacks all enemies 2 times, placing block active skills on the first hit. Very, very nice champion for this job. And so this is what the new and updated team is going to look like. Yes, we're running a mythical champion as the aura lead in this one for a 25% speed aura. Theodosia is also going to be placing block buffs and decreased defense. That's going to be her job on the team. And you're going to be relying on the weaken debuff coming in from the Estrid Dreamsong. She's the fastest champion on my team. She's going to be the 10-meter booster, just making sure I go first because the enemies are so bloody fast in these lower stages. I feel like I need this. She also does bring weaken as well, so I'm still bringing decreased defense and weaken to the table. But you can see things get very, very advanced in terms of what tools you're trying to bring here, right? The Thorlin's going to stick around as one of our nukers. The Ethelyn we've already touched on. And the Freya Fate Weaver is going to be bringing along a block debuffs buff and debuff removal, as well as some 10-meter fill. So she's going to be like going second roughly on this team and protecting us from that decreased defense skill. She also brings an increased defense buff and shields on her A2 as well, but frankly, I just have to sort of brute force a little bit with this current team setup and just, the boss is going to get its first attack off before I can get up the increased defense buff. So that just is what it is. She places a big shield. As long as my guys don't die against the first AoE hit from the boss, then this team does seem to work out. I tell you what, I'm also going to boost up the Ethelyn's gear by quite a bit because frankly, he deserves it. I do have a build planned out for him. This is the gear build that I've been running to clear the stage up until now. It's not that remarkable, really. 270% crit damage, about 200 speed, 320, 330 accuracy. You know, it's fine, it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and just recommit some of my Athorian's gear onto the Ethelyn just now, and we'll just take it from there. I guess we're going to severely boost up his accuracy. His speed's about the same. His crit damage and attack stats, though, are going to go up by quite a bit, and so I'm just going to shift up his gear build a little bit, and let's see if I can just kill the first wave of enemies right away before they get to do anything. But even if the Jing 1 survives, he's not going to get to buff strip against us, which is the most important thing, you know. But yeah, as you're going to see just here, the Ethelyn can hit bloody hard as well. I've not actually tested him in this build before ever, by the way. Oh, he's going to kill everything. No problem. No problem, right? Yeah, big damage. Okay, but we do get up the block active skill still against the Ragash, and my team just about survives the first hit coming in from the boss, and that's all we've got to do. Now, ideally, I could try and tweak this team in such a way that we get the Glycad back in the team, maybe, and get like the increased defense buff up sooner, so that we just definitely don't die to the first AoE hit from the boss, because that was a little bit close. But yeah, you can see how we're just evolving the team and bringing in these new tools to the fight to deal with the boss's minions as they change. Now for stage 25 and beyond. Sorry, stage 28 and beyond. For which I'm not that proud of myself, because it's a little bit of a cheese team, I'm not gonna lie, man. It would be bloody helpful if I had like a Marius or something on this account, and just more of like the... well, yeah, it would just help if I had a Marius, okay? I don't have a Marius. What I do have is a crazy amount of survival and control in this team. We no longer need the block active skills that much, by the way. I feel like the real challenge with this team is the Tetsuya. So the Tetsuya gets 10 meter boost every time an enemy champion takes a turn, and so he's going to be jumping in like crazy, which is bloody annoying, to say the least. He does pretty solid damage as well if you let him. And so the team that I've built right here just uses a bunch of mythicals and a crap load of wave control and survival tools, increased defense, strengthen buffs. The Fabian is just a crowd control fiend against this team. The entire point of the team is just to live, right? You can actually crowd control these enemies quite effectively as well. So the Fabian in this team, for just controlling the enemy waves and just keeping them all from really doing anything useful, with the True Fears and the Petrifies and the like the Fabian A3, all of those things seems to be pretty good. Seems to be pretty until he dies. And so we just run it again, and hopefully this time the Fabian does actually land the increased cooldown on the Tetsuya. Because the problem is that the Fabian's weak affinity into the Tetsuya, which is like the most important champion for him to control, really. So now we shouldn't have a problem at all, right? The entire enemy team can only use their A1 skills. They're getting petrified, they're getting true feared. They're going to get provoked every now and again from the Freya, and my team's just so bloody stupidly tanky that the boss can't ever kill me. That's it. That's the team. It takes a long time to get the kill with this team. And it's not reliable because if the Fabian fails to land any of his control against the Tetsuya, the run goes bad very, very quickly, which sucks a lot. But there you go, Tetsuya dead. We do just kill off the ads though, one at a time. And any time they do get to use one of the A1 skills, the Fabian counterattacks in with his A2 and petrifies them. So like, the entire wave of enemies, the only threat is the Tetsuya. You know what I'm saying? So I could probably find a better option, to be honest, to deal with him as well. And if I can, then we're good. Like this enemy team can't do anything to me. Oh my god, boys. We've only gone and done it, man. We've only gone and done it. I think this is the ultimate cheese team. I'm not even proud of this, man. I just feel filthy, dude. We switched in the Wixwell, and we switched out the Theodosia for the Lazarius. So mythical for a mythical. Yeah. So this is the updated team. It's basically set up now so that the Wixwell opens with this A1, and because the Tetsuya is the only magic affinity team on the enemy team, he actually just guarantees that the Wixwell is always going to attack him because the Wixwell's force affinity. So the Wixwell opens with provoke and then prioritizes using his AoE decrease attack, which is useless against the boss because all of the boss's skills are HP based. They all scale off of the boss's HP. But the Tetsuya, this seems to keep him nicely under control so that even if the Fabian doesn't land his A3 and he weak hits too much against the Tetsuya and fails to control him, we still have enough to survive. I'm going to try this into stage 29 now, where I'm a bit less confident it's going to work, man, but let's give it a try. It's a really, really cheesy strategy after all, and so let's just see how it does, man. Let's just see how it does. So the open is all the same from the Estrid. We actually do land the increased cooldown on the Tetsuya here straight away from the Fabian. And either way, though, we'd have the Wixwell follow in with the A1 and just guarantee that the Tetsuya isn't going to do anything nasty to us. We're getting the block debuffs buff from the Lazarius now instead of the Freya. And so let's see how we do. The boss's big AoE hit doesn't do that much to us, but here comes the Tetsuya's next attack. He gets in his attack just after the Wixwell gets up the decrease attack debuff as well. So let's see how much damage he does now. Oh, never mind. We land a sleep against him. The Estrid coming in clutch. Oh, it's just such a cheesy team, dude. All we're doing is trying to live. You know what I'm saying? Tetsuya might get to attack now. I want to see how much damage he gets done. Nope, he misses his turn again because of the True Fear. Oh my god, dude. It's so ridiculous, dude. It's actually so ridiculous. Okay. Yeah. This is the team that I've got for farming the harder stages. It takes like 10 minutes for us to get the kill. But, you know, it seems to do the job unless Tetsuya comes in now and just absolutely one-shots us. He misses his turn again. I feel like we're getting so lucky here. So, stage 29, I feel like this is really pushing it a little bit too far. If I'm being totally honest, you know. Oh my god, man. We're getting so lucky with controlling the Tetsuya. Pushing it a little bit too far. The enemy's just a little bit too fast. The Tetsuya's getting around to using his turn again. Very, very quickly indeed. Will he get his first attack off here? He does. It doesn't really do anything though, to be fair. And then we petrify him. Just farm stage 27 with the Ethel and the Golden team. and have it be like a 1 minute clear or something, you know, and I'll just settle for that. It's probably more reliable as well. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like a 5 to 10% failure rate for this team, and you don't really want that, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Anyways, hope that this video was helpful. Hope that it was mildly entertaining, seeing the cheesy ways that I'm trying to get through these later stages of this dungeon. Just ridiculous teams coming out, frankly. But as you can see, it is working. So if I wanted to find these higher stages, you can actually cheese it with just mass sort of wave control and all of the wave control tools in the world, and then like crazy powerful defensive buffs. And it can be very, very slow kill, but there you go. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, man. If you did, make sure to hit like on the video and all that good stuff. And of course, if you're looking to start off a new raid account, now is an incredible time to get it done while Michelangelo is the login reward legendary champion. Start off that new raid account right now by using the beginner promo link that is down below this video to kickstart your new raid account with start a legendary Basilius Uranus, and it's a triple legendary start from there. Thanks for stopping by, and I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man.